Okay, we're going to go into repeat patterns. And we have the Diamond Magic selected. And I'm going to make a left click, left click. You know, when you do things automagically. And our quilt is 17 wide by 20, I believe it's 22 long. All right, so it automatically builds my rows, but I don't like the size of this because it would just take up my whole. So I am going to set that at 4, and I'm going to set that at, let's say 4, let's say 3, and we'll set this one at 4. So that's about the size that I would like, but as you can see, it's not nested. So we can go over into here, and I do a plus row on the top. And the reason I do the plus row on the top is especially if we're using a single row. To do this is that I will use this as my placement on the top of the quilt, so then I can rearrange and relocate to the appropriate place. So I want to decrease the gap here between the rows so that it nests the way I want to. So I'm hitting the vertical down here on the bottom. So what does that do? That increases the height of the pattern automagically. Okay, so I am going to add a row because I want it more square. Okay, so that brought the vertical up. So I want to increase the vertical gap in between here. And let's see, should we add another? Let's see, because I would like them to be about square. Okay, so 5.5 and 6 7/8. Okay, so let's see if we can increase the gap to bring it closer or square. So now we know that the width of the pattern is 5.67 and the height is 5.67. And I want 3 across the quilt. And they will be 5.7. All right, so we are going to capture this so we can put it in a PDF at some point. Okay, so this is what I want to see on my quilt. This is the grid. We can take the grid off so that you can see the gap in there. And I'm going to say, okay, I can go up to this measuring tape and click here and then to the top of this point. And I know that the gap in between there is about 1/2 inch. That's cool. We can do that. Now, what we want to, okay, we want to close that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going from the right side, holding down the left mouse click all the way across, and I'm selecting just this middle row. Now remember, our quilt is 17 inches wide. So this 3 in here is 17 inches wide. Cool. So now what we'd like to do is essentially have these 2 rows saved as one pattern. So what I'm going to do is I am going to lop off the sides on this one. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to turn my grid back on because it's just easier. And I'm going to select all of this and move it over so that the point right here is on one of the grid lines. I am also going to do snap to grid. I'm going to turn off endpoint and I'm going to do snap to grid. Okay, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to draw a boundary. So see this pink node goes to there, goes to there, and I'm going to come out here, 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 and then right mouse click twice, and I've created a boundary. So what I'm going to do here, oops, yeah, is I am going to fill, I always get this confused, inside or outside. Okay, I am going to fill outside, and that will lop off the right hand side and make that straight. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Here's my point, go down to here, come out, whoops. If you push down, you can push the whole thing out, over, up, and I'm right clicking, and then I'm getting out of the boundary tool. Again, I'm picking the pattern, I am right clicking, and I'm going to fill outside. Okay, so we can get rid of these through the delete button. Oops, we got to select it first so it turns the blue. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I am not connecting these. I am going to go from the right side of the screen and only select these two. I'm going to right click, save it as a pattern, whatever you want to. Now I send things over and I put them in what I refer to as a temp. I add the temp tag onto it, and I put in 2 rows, 5.5. And then again, I put it into the Elevate collection. Okay, don't know if you need to or not. Okay, so here's my row, and I'm going to back that up or send it to the cloud, which goes to my Elevate when I sync. Okay, so when I stitch these out, just for, okay, let's make this a little faster. Okay, but because if you hear that at the end, that means that when we get over to the Elevate and it gets to the end here, it's going to stop. It'll allow you to tie off, and then it'll come back to the beginning here. If you end up with something that will fit into your throat space, no problem. Now on this particular pattern, I probably don't like this top row being as short as it is. Okay, so what I might do in this case is I have my 2 rows here, is I might do the same actions, okay, as we did before, creating our boundary. Okay, I'm going to make sure that this is on the sides, I'm on a grid line, or just maybe just above the grid line. Okay, so here's my draw boundary. I'm going to go from here to here. It runs right through there, up, up. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing that we had done before, where we are going to actually, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do an order join and a combine, because I want the top of all of these to be filled. So I'm going to right click, fill outside. So now I have this row that I can stick on the top, save it as a pattern. Same thing. I use, like I said, as a temp. Top row. And then I would repeat the process for the bottom row. Hope this is helpful. Thank you.